Yeah, so another week, another close call for your Chiefs, except this time it was against the Panthers. You guys won by three
Yeah.
points. You almost called this one exactly. You said it'd be a 4-point victory for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
After the game, Mahomes said, "You want to have some blowouts. I would love to win a game before the very last play." So even
Yeah.
Mahomes sounds a little worried that they can't jump up on these teams. You seem to not be worried about it. Is there something there?
Well, I don't think he's worried. I think that so Wilds also said he was worried. I disagree with that. I think he's maybe a little annoyed. I don't think he's worried. Um no, I mean this there was a great tweet that I wish I could give credit to who wrote it, but it's exactly correct. And it was so well worded and so funny. And it said, "I don't care if you're the best team in the NFL, an average NFL team, an awful NFL team, a college team, or just your local high school football team. There isn't a single team in the world the Kansas City Chiefs can't beat by exactly 3 points." And I was like, yeah, that's right. Like, yeah, that's exactly right. And it doesn't the Super Bowl against the Niners beat you by 3. A game against the Panthers with Bryce Young comeback beat you by 3. And so we have growing evidence that when the Chiefs need to score, they score. As evidenced by the fact that it's not even a story that once again Mahomes gets the ball with a minute left. And did everyone expect them to immediately drive down the field and score, or just me? Oh wait, everybody did. I can only say this so many. Now, the defense the last 2 weeks has played the 2 worst games it's played in 2 years. So that needs to tighten up. Like they allowed 30 and 27. That's the most and second most points they've allowed in 2 years, and it's in consecutive weeks. Against the Bills, you can say you're playing a great offense, fine. Against the Panthers, it's not a great game. But
So you're a little worried.
No.
You're a little-
So here's the thing. Compared to whom? Do I think the Chiefs are clearly head and shoulders the best team in the league? Yeah. So what would I be worried about? It is so much of the Chiefs' concern trolling is based on, in order to be concerned, people need to pretend things that didn't happen did happen. So I would be really worried that Mahomes isn't going to be the same player without Tyreek Hill if he hadn't won league MVP the first year without him. Oh, when they're kind of struggling, and not really struggling, they have the best record in the NFL, but not wildly impressive in the regular season. I'd be really worried about that if they hadn't been 10 times worse last regular season and won the Super Bowl. Oh, they're playing all these close games against some mediocre teams. I'd be really worried about that if they didn't always literally win. People want them to have lost one of these games. They haven't. Now, listen, Buffalo is not, nobody thought they played some terrible game against Buffalo. People are like, hey, Buffalo played a great game and beat them. That's another excellent team. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, wow, my goodness, why did they almost lose to Denver? But they didn't. Why did they almost lose to Atlanta? But they didn't. Why did they almost lose to Cincinnati? But they didn't. And this Panthers game is what I would call, Demonze, fake close. And by fake close, I mean this, and this is a good just barometer for any football game. Does the other team ever, in the fourth quarter, in the Panthers game, it would apply to the second half, but let's call it fourth quarter, do they ever have the ball with a chance to take the lead? So, is there ever a time that the Panthers had the football where it's like, oh, if they score a touchdown here, they take the lead? And the answer to that question was no, not for the entire second half. It was like the AFC Championship game against Baltimore. Baltimore never once had the ball with a chance to take the lead. So even if the final score is close, it's kind of fake close. You have the team at arm's distance the whole way. And I'm not going to listen to people saying, here is how a team going for a three-peat is supposed to look. The Patriots were the last team to try to go for a three-peat. They went 10-6 that year. It was the worst regular season Brady had in 20 years. Okay? The only team to come close to a three-peat, the 1990 San Francisco 49ers. They also started 10-1. They middle of their season, they had a field goal at the gun victory over a 3-win team. They went 14-2. 7 of their wins were by 4 or fewer points. There is no precedent for what the Chiefs are trying to do. And they are discussed as if they haven't simultaneously had one of the hardest schedules in football while having the best record in football. They have beaten playoff teams, Chargers, Broncos, Ravens, Falcons. Only one team in the league has more victories over playoff teams. No team in the league has fewer losses. And so, no, and if there was any concern early, it was like, what's up with Mahomes? And riddle me this. Since they acquired DeAndre Hopkins, 12 touchdowns, 3 picks, a 103 rating, one of the best quarterbacks in football immediately again. And they're not even playing DeAndre that much. That's the other reason that the Chiefs are just playing by a different game than everyone else. The Chiefs traded DeMonze a 5th-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins that turns into a 4th-round pick if he plays 60% of the snaps and they make the Super Bowl. So you know what the Chiefs are not doing? Playing DeAndre Hopkins 60% of the snaps. He had fewer snaps than Justin Watson this week. Anybody think Justin Watson's better than DeAndre Hopkins? Or were the Chiefs like, let's keep his snap count down?
They are savvy. They're really savvy.
Yeah. They just added a left tackle. They're getting Pacheco back. They're going to get Hollywood Brown before Christmas. They're getting Charles Omenihu back. They're going to have the best team up that they've had all year in December. They have the best record in football. They've already gone through the tough part of their schedule. Now, with all that said,
oh, go ahead. Sorry, yeah, because I tell you you're about to get into something.
No,
important.
and then you go ahead. With all that said, I'm very, very excited for on Black Friday, Aiden O'Connell to have the Raiders tied at halftime. I can't wait for it. I really can't wait for it. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.